This is Gizmo. It's Gizmo. Good morning. This is Dominic with TheBackVlog. This is the fifth and final video. Oh shit! This disc fell out. This is the fifth and final video that I will be recording today. Who knows when these things will be uploaded onto the internet? Hopefully soon. I finished the first Final Fantasy in the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Pixel Remaster Collection. I got this for my birthday. I talked about this on my January 2025 media acquisition, the whole collection, obviously. I only did one so far. It's gonna take me a little while to get through all of them because I don't want to play all of them back to back. I don't want to get burned out and end up disliking one for reasons other than its own faults. But honestly, I really did like Final Fantasy 1. I said in a little anecdote in that media acquisition video that Final Fantasy 1 was one of the games that I emulated on an early 2000s emulator on my dad's laptop. And like, it was really interesting to see. It was all in Japanese too. I never beat the game. I definitely wouldn't have been able to beat the game. But it was a good time. That was a core memory regarding video games in my early childhood. That game and that emulator. What I will say though, and you know, the game, and probably the other ones that were Famicom or NES original, is that while the sprite art is really good, I really like the sprite art in this game, it sacrifices the authenticity of the original. It's really weird that, and I know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have this issue too, but it's really weird that these games give you the option to listen to the original music and to put like a CRT filter over the screen, but they don't give you the option to switch between the classic sprite art and the reimagined sprite art. I wanted to have, and they let you, actually I guess that's a separate discussion, but I think it's really weird that they have some aspects of you being able to revisit how it was originally, and other aspects where they just don't give you that option at all. I think it's really weird, and a little disrespectful. That being said, I don't know, because I don't remember how the 8-bit sprite art would have looked, and I wish I knew. I really wish I knew. But the reimagined 16-bit sprite art for the creatures in this game is really, really well done. The creature design is awesome. It's varied. There's a lot of variation to it. They're really memorable. And some of those things are like just downright gross. Which I wasn't super expecting for Final Fantasy. But some of these things look like frickin' Elden Ring villains, like the big eyes. That's just an Elden Ring villain right there. There's one that's just like a big floating skull that I believe was on fire, or something like that. That one was cool too, and the boss design is really neat. Yeah, no, there's some great creature design in this game. Another thing, back to talking about the optional things of this, is that, you know, you have these quality of life improvements too that are also not forced upon you. You have the random encounters, which I hear the random encounters in the original was egregious. I kept the random encounters on as much as I could in this game. The only times I ever turned it off is like whenever I was like starting to get sleepy and I needed to like recuperate myself so I can save and be fresh for the next time. So I would turn off the random encounters to get to the quickest town and get all my stuff situated, because I didn't have time to keep battling. But other than that, like, I kept the random encounters on the whole time, because I wanted as an authentic experience as I could get, as the game would allow me. I guess you could consider the orchestral reimagining of the original soundtrack a quality of life feature as well. I didn't really listen to that at all because I was listening to the original music. Perhaps if I ever revisit this game, I will listen to that music then. But what I did hear of it was really done, like well done. Is really good. And actually, I am kind of curious how those 8-bit music pieces were transformed into a large orchestra, because I can definitely see where the original composers were going with their ideas. The auto battle mechanic, I believe, is another quality of life feature that wasn't in the original, and thank God for that thing. That thing is so helpful, and it's so streamlined. Yeah. I feel like if I didn't have that, this game would have felt even more like a slog. This game didn't really feel like a slog. I think it went by really quickly. It didn't feel like as long as it was. It ended up being like it was like 15 to 17 hours long, but I didn't really feel like it dragged on that much, just because, I don't know, I think it had something to do with the visual design and the gameplay loop. It didn't feel like it meandered or anything. But then again, that could have just been because of the quality of life features as well. I think my time spent with it was really good, really fun. The overall mechanics of it, they're very rudimentary. Did you hear that? I'm not sure if that was like a burp or a fart. Robin, was that you? Anyway, the mechanics are rudimentary, but, it was one of the first of its kind. This was groundbreaking for the time. So, that's easily forgivable. And, overall it aged pretty okay. It didn't age poorly, like the first Mother aged pretty poorly. But then again, if I had more of an authentic experience with Final Fantasy 1, maybe I would be feeling that way about it as well. But I'll never know. There's not really good conveyance as to where to go a lot of the time. If you're gonna walk away from this game for a few days, because basically the way that you get your objectives is through things that people in town say, and you have to talk to everybody to figure out what to do, and sometimes you can't even figure out what to do. But if you're going to walk away from this game for a few days, you need to write down all of the information that you learned, like where to go, what to do, so the next time you don't forget. Because if you don't do that, you're going to have to either look it up, which is what I did, or you're going to have to look for the specific town and the specific NPC that give you the specific piece of information on what to do next, so you can go do that. And sometimes even that's pretty vague. So, for like the first half of the game, I was doing pretty well on like my objectives on where to go and everything, but then I gave it a few days before I went back to it, and then I got completely lost. So that's what you're gonna want to do. The last thing I have written on my notepad here is chaos ain't no bitch. That was a hard fight. That final boss, that was a hard final boss, and there's no like health bars or anything, so you can't tell like how much damage you're doing and how much of health he has left. But I feel like the fact that you're in the dark the whole time makes it even more dreadful. I'm pretty sure the levels scale in this game, so you can't grind to get stronger. You can grind to get more health. But at that point, I feel like if if the enemies are scaling with you, you know, their damage output is probably going to be higher than too. So even though you do have more health, it might kind of balance itself out. But yeah, I got him on my second try, but I was not confident that second try. I was definitely sweating. Yeah, that was a hard fight. That's pretty much all I have to say about the first Final Fantasy. It was good. I wasn't expecting it to be as enjoyable of an experience as it was. I was expecting at least the first 2 or 3 of these games to be kind of a slog, but yeah, I'm actually looking forward to what the rest of this collection has to offer. I'm really looking forward to 6. I hear 6 is really good. So yeah, you will hear more about those in the coming months. Have a good day.